Bonjour. Ourdou Aamozish में खुश आमदीद. Today we will be focusing on the imperative, Haalat-e-Hukmiyah or Haalat-e-Amriya. And we will also be covering the oblique case. Let's go. चलते हैं. On y va? In this lesson, we will be covering the following subjects. Verb plus verb formation. Fayl jama fayl ki tashkeel. So modal verbs in Urdu are called af'al mu'awwal. An example of this is sakna. Auxiliary verbs, which are in Urdu called imdadi af'al. An example would be like karna and istimal karna. So we have already covered certain verb plus verb formations, such as kar sakna, which is to be able to do. Here are some other common verbs with this formation. To bring along, le ana. To take away, le jana. To come over, a jana. To happen or to become, ho jana. To hand over, de dena. To get or to take, le lena. To do for one's own self, kar lena. So this is usually used in commands as in, ye kar lijiye, so do this for yourself. To do for someone else, kar dena. So ye kar lijiye, if you're saying it to someone else, meaning do this for me. To read for one's own self, par lena. To read out or to dictate for someone else, par dena. To stay for one's own self, reh lena. To keep for one's own self, rakh lena. To put for someone else, rakh dena. To buy for one's own self, khareed lena. The oblique case, Ghair Fa'ili Haalat. The oblique case is commonly used with the object pronouns and with directional and case marking postpositions, which are similar to prepositions in English and French. So, muj, tum, is or us, in or un. So is or us for informal for people, or it means it. And in or un is for standard for people, or it means these or those. Is and us is this and that. And yes, one's for pas and one's for pare. So this is more for like pas and pare. There's 3 ways that you can express near and far in Urdu. They're like in sets. So pas and pare are from Sanskrit. Dur and nastik are from Farsi. And the last one is Kareeb and Ba'id. That's from Arabic. So now for us it's ham, ab, and in or un. Then the word for postposition is most commonly Lahiqe or Lahiqe or sometimes jazu lahiq. Then the objective case in Urdu is Haalat-e-Maf'uli. Postpositions, Lahiqe. So the postpositional case markers, Lahiq Haalat ki shanakhti alamat are as follows. For the nominative, it's ye or wo, which is the Haalat-e-Fayl or ergative. There isn't really a word for ergative in Urdu, so I put like takwili pelu or kamal pelu, which means they are used in the perfective aspects. So in hone or un hone. So an example is kalam ne. It's kind of like an implied the in English. There isn't really an equivalent in English, but mane, I did. And it's, as I mentioned, commonly used in the perfect tenses. Then the accusative, which is isme mansub or siga maf'ul. That's inko or unko, and it's like in relation to them, unse mutalik. And then the dative is maf'uli haalat or haalat-e-maf'ul, like haalat-e-maf'uliyat or sampardan, and that is also inko or unko, and it's like directional, like to them. Then instrumental is movin haalat, which is like inse or unse, like by way of or by means of, like gizari, like via or through. Like it's usually used like when you're using an object and you're getting something done by that object. Then the ablative or the ikhraji haalat, that is inse or unse, which means like from them. The genitive, which is also the possessive, is mu'asaf alia or halat-e-izafi, and it has a ka, which is, as you know, indicates possession. So inka or unka, or ka changes to ki or ke based on the noun. So like for example, kagazat ke, of the papers, hamara, ours, but in the oblique it'll become a hamare, and it indicates possession. Malkiyat ka izhar. Then in essive, so that means like in, so there isn't a word for inessive in Urdu, so it's just me. So in me or umme, so mujme is inside of me. Adjective, which is on, same, there isn't a word in order for this. So in par or unpar. Colloquially, this is also sometimes pronounced as pe, like how in hone and unhone are sometimes colloquially pronounced as in and unne, but in the proper forms are also widely used, so that is also what you should learn because that's how it's written. So unpar is like on them or at them, so like kagas par is on paper. Terminative is ikhtitami haalat, so intak or untak, so like till something or somewhere. So dukan tak, till the store. Semlative, wasil haalat, so inke or unke or unki, jaser, jesi. So when it's using this is a bit more complicated. When it's using just in or un, it has to have a jese. But when there's an actual noun, it becomes sa. So chota sa bacha, a small-ish, like sa is like ish, the smallish child, chota sa bacha. Tora sa, like a little bit. That Torah means a little, and Torah sa kind of a little-ish bit, but that really doesn't make sense. So like a little bit. For the genitive and semlative cases, marker declension is required, and that's affected by the gender number of the noun and can also alter the verb. Example, panka, it's nominative and masculine. The plural and nominative is panke. Of the fan, that changes it to oblique. So the singular of that is pankeka, and of the fans, plural in the oblique is pankoka. We're going to go over the plural later, but just so you know for now. We will also, like, so if you want to say we should learn Urdu, Urdu is a feminine word. So, हमें Urdu सीखनी चाहिए. It becomes सीखनी instead of सीखने or सीखना. So, a small girl is बच्ची. So, a smallish girl is छोटी सी बच्ची. Small-ish girls is छोटी सी बच्चियाँ. And of the small girls is choti bachchiyon ki, because of the oblique. It from bachchiyan it becomes bachchiyon. Next is commands of the verb to do. Karna ke ahkamat. So for the present, hazir ya har. For tum it's karo. For governmental hukumati it's karen. And for there's kije and courier. So kije is like the standard way, and courier is now it has become an alternative, partially due to it kind of becoming a bit regularized. But kije is like the proper way, and courier is the alternative. But now Urdu and Hindi are unique, and they're probably one of the only, if not the only, language that has a command form for the future. So the command form for tum in the future is karna. So it's just the infinitive of the verb. And for it's kijega or kariega. When we do the future tense, you'll learn that ga is one of the most common. It is the way to form the future. And it's derived from jana, which means to go, like you're going to do something. So, yeah. And then kare, which is it's technically the op form of the subjunctive, and it erroneously came into use primarily by the government and has infrequently trickled down to general conversation by law of association, because the tum form of karo is both the imperative form and it's also the subjunctive form for tum. So this is reinforced by kare not having a future imperative form. So governments maintain its use because it is the subjunctive aspect. So it's not exactly, like a command. It kind of adds like if you do this sort of. And it's similar to French, where infinitives can be used in the imperative by public authorities when in general, they have a separate command form. In many areas of South Asia, kare is considered impolite or vulgar, so it's best to refrain from using this form in general conversation. But you may hear it, especially in like government messages and stuff. Now, for imperative expressions or command phrases, Fiqraat-e-Hukmiyah or Ebaaraat-e-Amriya. So there are 4 total irregular verbs in the command form. They are karna, dena, lena, and pina. To do, to give, to take, and to drink. And so we will quickly go over their forms. And so Ghair Ma'muli af'al. So we already went over karna. Then for dena, it's do dena den, dijega. For lena, it's lo lena len, lije and lijega. And for pina, it's pio, pina, bien, bije and bijega. For regular husband ma'mul, this is the way for like every other verb. or it's maybe slightly changed, but the general format is the same. So, khao, khana, khai, khaye, and khayega. Khana, as you know, is to eat. So here are your examples. And now, the future op form is also the most polite form, or the politest form. So even though it expresses the future, it's also even more polite than like the present op form. So you should almost always utilize the op, present, and future forms most frequently in your conversation, because in general you will be using the op form. Like the tum form is only for people of your age and that are not in like a position of power that's like above you, or they're younger than you, or something like that. Now some examples. Misale, take care of yourself. Apna khayal rakhiyega. Come in. Andar aaye. Go out. Bahar jaiye. To express, or like it's a command. Express. Farmaye. So like when you're on the telephone, it's very common that, you know, when you're saying I'm this, like, hi, I'm Azan, and main Azan hu, and I'm talking from this place. Main, you know, main daftar se baat kar raha hu. And then the other person would say, ji farmaye. Yes, like express yourself. Then take a seat. Tashrif rakhiye. So this literally means to put your honorable presence, literally, but it means take a seat. And then choose something. Kuch pasand kar lijiye. And as you know, pasand karna is frequently used for to choose. So pasand kar lijiye is to pick something for yourself. That's denoted by the verb, as we went over that construction. Give me water. Mujhe pani de dijiye. So de dena is reinforcing that you're giving it to me, like me, for me. So mujhe pani de dijiye. Keep exercising. Warzish karte rahiye. So the way to speak to keep doing something, you use the for the first verb, you use the indefinite conjugation, and then for the second verb, you use the command. So, warzish karte rahiye. Keep doing exercise, or keep exercising. Don't inconvenience yourself. Zahmat mat kijiye. So it's like, don't go to the trouble of doing this, or something like that. So, zahmat mat kijiye. And then be happy for them. Unke liye khush hoiye. So hoiye is the command op form of hona. So, and for the tum it's just ho. So unke liye khush hoiye. Time for our practice exercise. Mashq tamreen. So complete the practice exercise utilizing verb plus light verb formation, the oblique case with postpositions, and the imperative mood and its command forms. Some new words or phrases that you will need to complete this. Drawer is daraz, and chair is kursi. So at this time you should take a moment, complete the exercise, and then we will go over it. Exemplary responses, misali jawabat. So please do your studying. Az rahe karam apni padhai kar lijiye. As you know, or you might not know, but please actually is not frequently used in Urdu. Like, the please is kind of expressed by what imperative sense you're using. Like if you're saying kar lijiye, that's kind of implying please. So in general, please is not commonly used. And it's like if you don't say azrahikiram, it actually would seem like you could say more, like it flows better. Like it would be more typical to say this without azrahikiram, and even when you're being polite. If you want to maybe be slightly more polite, you could say apni parhai kar lijiyega. So yeah. So azrahikiram is very nice, but it's not necessary in Urdu, whereas it would be in English. Like if you say do your studying to someone that's perhaps older than you, that could be kind of rude, but not in Urdu. So give the water to them. Unko pani de dijiye. Take the book from me. Mujhse kitab le lijiye. Go to the room for the chair. Kursi ke liye kamre tak jaiye. My glasses are in this thing. Meri anak is cheez mein hai. So in English, glasses are always plural. But in Urdu, there are singular and plural. But the word is the same. So Meri anak is cheez mein hai means singular. And Meri anak is cheez mein hai, that is the plural. So hai and hai. And so the proper pronunciation of hai and hai, you're not supposed to like accentuate the H sound. So it's just hai or hai, okay? His wallet is on the table. Unka batwa mez par hai. Put my watch in the drawer. Meri ghadi daraz mein rakh dijiye. You can also say meri ghadi ko daraz mein rakh dijiye. You're both correct. Then go buy apples. Seb khareedne chahiye. The topics of this lesson are इस सबक के मौज़ूआत हैं verb formation, तशकील अफ़आल, obliques and postpositions, Ghair Fa'ili Haalat or Lahiqe, and commands, ahkamat. Leave a comment down below for any assistance or additional practice. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and comment down below. See you next time. Khuda Hafiz and Akhifa.